Hi everyone and welcome to the fantasyfootballfix.com YouTube channel, and in this week's video we're going to take a look at an exciting new Google Chrome extension. Hi everyone and welcome to the FPL stats fix, but with a big twist. In this week's video, what I'm going to be doing is talking you guys through something which we're all so excited about in the fantasyfootballfix.com space. It's been something that's just been in development over the last few weeks and months, and we are so excited, guys, to share it with you. What this is our first effort to sort of tap into Google Chrome extensions or browser-based extensions. Now, some of you watching this video, I'm sure, will be really familiar with what that means. Others perhaps won't be. So I'm just going to talk you through what it is and how ultimately it's going to help you become a better fantasy football manager. So effectively what this is, guys, is a means by which we are able to integrate some of the awesome features that are available on fantasyfootballfix.com, be that through the desktop site or the new app that we've talked about previously, and have that integrated into your browser experience when you are actually using the FPL site itself. So whilst my videos have historically and will continue to be next season focused on the fantasyfootballfix.com site itself, and we look at the deep dive into the stats, this video is going to be talking about how we've been able to bring those features into your experience when you're actually using the FPL site, which I'm sure we're all so familiar with. So right now, guys, what I should say is we are in the midst of the testing phase, So we're in the beta stage right now. And if you are interested, guys, in becoming a tester, then do please smash a comment in on this video, give a like as well, and we will see what we can do to get you involved. It's still very much being worked on, but we're so pleased to be able to share with you what's been developed so far, and there is so much more to come. So after you have installed the plugin, the Google Chrome plugin, and it's an extension, which is only available right now, guys, on Google Chrome. We are looking into introducing it into other browsers as well in due course, but right now it is something that you will use on your desktop site on the Google Chrome browser. So that's the extent of the development so far. As I say, we are looking to expand that in the future. After you've done that, so I can just show you quickly how that will actually look. So you will be linked to this site and you can actually install it, which I have already done. And thereafter, guys, all you'll need to do is head over to the fantasypremierleague.com site, and all of the features that we're going to talk through in a few moments are currently available on the points page within FPL. So other features will ultimately be found on different pages, but right now what you're going to see is all in the points section. And straight away you can see that the look and feel of this, guys, is a bit different and a bit more elaborate and hopefully more helpful for you guys as we sort of talk this through. And there's so many cool things for you to start to have a play with. So this is my page and my points for game week or double game week 37. So I'm recording this on Monday, guys. So right now, I've not had a great game week, as you can see, so you can have a laugh or share my pain. But effectively, you're going to get the view in terms of how you're performing in that game week. But there's loads more things to dive into. So we're going to go through them now. On the left-hand side here, what you can do straight away, this would direct you to the fantasyfootballfix.com algorithm team of the week, which I'm sure you'll be used to taking a look at Eddie's awesome videos in terms of what the fix algorithm is saying will perform best for that week. So you can actually check out how that team is doing. That's kind of an interesting, cool little feature there if you've missed that. You've then got your your latest points, which, as I say, mine have not been plentiful thus far, but still some time to pick up some more, hopefully. You get a view there of the average points for the game week, the highest points as well. So nothing too elaborate here. The Gameweek Rank as at currently. Again, nothing to shout about there, the number of transfers I've made. On the right-hand side here, guys, you can start to see some of the features here. So we're bringing in here this concept of active players. So kind of gives you an indication per fantasyfootballfix.com's suggestion in terms of how many teams are actually actively managing their teams, making transfers within the last 5 game weeks. Gives you an idea of, FPL might purport that they have over 9 million players. That's true depending on your standpoint, but actually you're looking at closer to 3.9 million in terms of managers who've stayed the course, guys, and are still actively managing their team. Now, scrolling down here, this is when it starts to get really cool. So you've actually got you've got different filters that you can apply. So the default, guys, is to look at the overall picture, which of course is relevant. And by overall, I actually mean the number of players involved in the game. These other filters here are really, really interesting. So they actually give you some context in terms of how you're performing against players or FPL managers either close to you. So that will actually default to looking at your rank relative to how you've done thus far. If you're interested in kind of looking at the barometers from a top 1K, God, I wish, top 10K or top 100K, you can do that. And I will take a look at each of those in a few moments as well. On the right-hand side here, you've got the links through to the various different fantasyfootballfix.com social media tie-ins that we have. So we're really active on Twitter, on YouTube, clearly, as you're on the YouTube channel, Instagram, etc. So if you wanted to actually get in touch with us for our socials, you could do that as well. Now, scrolling down here, so the average live points here and the number of fixtures played, again, against overall here, will give you an indication as to how are you actually performing in the game week against your, your counterparts overall. Now, if I was to change this to near me, you can see how these numbers actually change, guys. So the average fixtures played overall, from an overall perspective, 5.3. Actually, near me, that kind of makes sense, actually, in 8, because, these are the players more actively engaged. So it kind of gives you, it's all about giving you, as users, more context to understand how you're performing relative to your competitors. So the near me one is definitely one of my favorite features there, guys. Top 1K, I'd be interested. I can't claim it's super relevant to me, ranked as I am, sort of around 140K middle of the game week. But you can see there, not a huge difference there between near me and top 1K. The number of managers who are engaged under 200K is going to be a similar team composition compared to near me, and similarly for top 10K and indeed top 100K, which is going to be closest to me as well. You then start to get a view, guys, as well, if you're interested, as to how many teams have deployed chips during the game week as well, which I find really interesting. You can see this is actually enormous, but it's not actually that surprising. So if I look at overall, it's going to be 4.5%, which is tiny. Obviously, that's including all of the managers who are no longer playing. Near me, top 150K or so, you're looking at almost 1 in 3 managers threw their free hit chip in to the pot for double game week 37, which is totally understandable, and I'm sure they are absolutely smashing it out of the park. But how cool is that, though, guys, to actually get a view of the chips that are being used in a different game week on the points page as well, relative to your competitors? I just think that's awesome to actually have that oversight, I guess, in terms of understanding how people are doing. And indeed, as we start to scroll down, guys, you'll start to see that this is what the fantasyfootballfix.com development team have been really trying to bring to the party. So I'm going to keep this on overall now. So we can scroll down, and this is my team. You can see, again, you've got this concept of filters. So you've got my team, Nemesis Team, and Algorithm Team, which we'll talk about in a moment. And then you've got the concept of these emojis, who are kind of giving a graphical representation in terms of the ownership, guys, of your players. So you can see where you've got one of these green faces, sort of super surprised and I guess super happy, this is basically telling you that the player that you've picked is a massive differential, or owned by 1 in 5, sort of 0 to 20%. Then the kind of straight face is just over that threshold up to 75%, and then highly owned, 76% to 99%. And then rank droppers. So this sort of ties in, guys, to the concept of the term that we've talked about, effective ownership and effective points. So we know, as engaged FPL managers who are interested in fantasy football fix.com stats, which hopefully you are if you've been following my videos, you'll know that if a player is ranked, is owned by more than 100%, taking into account the captaincy stats for that particular game week, if that player was to do well and you have not captained him, unfortunately, you would be looking at that player's points actually negatively impacting your rank. So it's not a concept that we're super excited about seeing, but it is a very real thing and something that we, as FPL managers, take into consideration. So try not to laugh too much at my individual team here, guys. This is an educational video, and it's just bringing you through some of the cool integrations as I've talked about previously. So historically, you'd see the team composition here, and you'd see the team that you'd selected without these stats beneath them. So in relation to Pickford or Trent Alexander-Arnold or Cancelo, actually what you're getting here is a view of the live points for those players in the game week. You've also got the remaining fixture or fixtures if you had this set up earlier on in the game week as well. It's kind of interesting to see, or useful I should say, to see how that is playing out in terms of what you've got upcoming. Effective points, as I said, that's the concept that we've talked about in relation to their ownership. So you start to get a kind of a better indication as to how those points are actually relevant to you at your individual level. So it can be a bit disappointing. And indeed, you can see how that player's performance based on the points has actually impacted your effective rank as a consequence of those points. So that's kind of what we're actually suggesting, or what fantasyfootballfix.com is bringing to the party here. So scrolling down, you'll start to get a view here, and you can see my team is super generic, I guess, in terms of the ownership of these players. So just a reminder, guys, you kind of got template ownership here, which is probably reflective of my overall rank, really. I haven't had enough differentials, and Ketia still just about breaks that, doesn't he? So that would be one of the differences, I guess, in terms of my teams. But you can start to get an idea as to what we're trying to bring to you here. So it starts to give an indication in terms of how your players are performing relative to your overall rank. Goodness me, look at all these red arrows, not what we like to see. Share some love in the comments for me, guys. Give me some hope that things will be okay. You've then got various links, guys, that link you through to some of the awesome pages on fantasyfootballfix.com itself. So in terms of the stats themselves, sort of deeper dive, the live insights and stats, which again I've talked about in the past, how they actually relate to your overall rank and how you're doing against your peers. And indeed fixed rivals, if you've set those up as well, to be able to view how your mini league competitors are doing as well. Really, really helpful there as well, guys. Now, scrolling down here, you've actually got a little bit more here as well in terms of squad value, which is something which I think is more prevalent or more pertinent at the beginning of the season or earlier on in the season. Clearly, we're right at the end of the season now, but if you are interested in understanding your squad value and how that compares against different groups, top 1k, top 10k, top 100k, etc., then Fix's integration here on this Google Chrome browser will give you that as well, which is, I just think, so important and so helpful, because you can understand whether or not you want to build up that team value. Now, I did mention previously, you've also got, so the default view will be your team, which is I think sensible to have that. You've also got this concept of what we've termed a Nemesis team. So it actually gives you a concept here of which are the players who would impact your rank most severely should they do well, I guess, in terms of their effective ownership and how they may perform. So it'll give you an idea of, I guess, which players you can sweat to root against, right? So that's what that concept is doing. And you can see a lot of players here. Goodness me, I'd love to have them all. But it's a sort of idea, if you're interested in sort of understanding during a given game week, which are the players who would harm me the most, and actually ones that you could see, as I say, actively root for them to not perform. I don't think we'd go as far to say any kind of injury, but to not perform well, then that would be the idea here. So the same composition of the stats, but actually you get an idea of which players, would actually harm your rank the most, and indeed a lot of them have for me. So woe betide me who would say any different. Algorithm team we talked about as well. Really cool little integration here as well. So it gives an idea as to what the team that Eddie's videos each week are up against in terms of the team that he selects to compete with this. But this is the fantasyfootballfixes.com's projected points best team based on a squad value of an average team value, average team, of a manager who's performing in the top 100k. So that's what that is, and effectively you can see here the players here who, Fix was predicting would do well, and they were right on the money, weren't they? With James Maddison and Jamie Vardy, and lots more games to come. So maybe my Matty Cash captaincy wasn't quite so despicable, but that gives you an idea as to what you can see there. I think that's really useful as well, guys, to see what the fantasyfootballfix.com algorithm is suggesting in terms of players that you potentially would be looking to bring in, guys, to your team. Now, some key points, guys. This feature, this awesome feature, it is free for the rest of the season. So whilst we still are live and active in double game week 37, we still have the final game week of the season as well, free for you to use. We are looking for users to test the beta version, and we'll be collecting feedback from you, from the testers as well at the end of the season. Right now, as I say, it is only available on Google Chrome, on the Google Chrome browser on your desktop at the moment, but we will be looking to integrate that as well into other browsers as well ongoing. So it's super exciting. I really, really hope you guys like what you see. Do please leave a comment down below in the video. Do please smash a like on your way out as well. Do please subscribe to the fantasyfootballfix.com YouTube channel if you haven't already, and do please subscribe to Fantasy Football Fix itself. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring this video through to you. I'm so proud of the developers as well. They've done an awesome job. I think it's absolutely fantastic what they've managed to achieve as well, and I really hope you guys like it as well, and we'll only look to make things better with future rollouts as well. So do please let us know if you'd like to become a tester. We'll share the link with the people who do. Smash a like, as I say on the video, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.